For everything that we know, the ring's nurse fathers seem to have been, well, at least awful parental figure in your childhood, at least. Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that Robo-Uncle was such a radical guy. He sent you to an academy like you wanted, and even got angry on your behalf, right? Oh. Hazy memories. I almost forgot to mention. A few days after that, Callisto left a snowman by my pillow as a gift. It was made of heads. I see. Of heads. Yes, decapitated heads from the incident at the academy, threaded together into a sculpture. Wow. Thinking back on it, it was a sorry excuse for an art. He's sorely mistaken if he thought some low-effort bullshit like that could make me feel any sort of better. I see. Could you maybe spare us these details, lass? Well, with that covered, do you guys wanna, head back for the rings catch us? Or rather, not the rings, but the middle catches us? This is their turf, isn't it? Hang on. Oh, what's up? You got that luscious treatment before heading back now? Shut it, you! That ain't it! Look over there! Those blocks walking out of the salon! Oh. More of the rings. How wisdom, ain't it? They found us again. It would not be odd to find a field branch of the rings art movement in a different district as well, especially that of the Thousand Scale. However, various evidence such as their mask and the fact that our group has immediately drawn their attention suggests that they are in the same pack as the one making regular intrusion into the House of Spirits. This is the LCB, speaking to team leader Alan, requesting immediate comprehension of a lockdown sequence.
Copy that.
Then why don't we just... Oh, holy shit! Guys, stop! Huh? Oh, bloody hell, what is it now? Don't you know where you are? You're smack dab into the middle, protect the turf! Yeah, I know that! That's why I was worried about it! We still have a reward on our heads! Cause it's seen, and bros and sisters of the middle here will be here in any second! Oh yeah! That's probably going to be a problem as well! Already drawn the ring's unwanted attention. We certainly don't want to get the middle involved in this as well. True. Sounds like you got a GI. So, ever played Whack-A-Mole? Huh? Like, why even giving ourselves a countdown, huh? Just head back through the door now and beat up whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk into our door. She puts forth a sound strategy indeed, Executive Manager. As long as there's no high-ranking officer amongst them, it would definitely be in our benefit. Then, just do as Kira says, that definitely isn't going to draw the attention of the brothers and sisters, at least. Oh, well, that was quick. Hey there, Alan! Alan blinked, shooting us a puzzled look as our entire squad came pouring through the door long before he finished the lockdown sequence. Well, due to newly emerged complications past the door, we have concluded that this location is the most optimal point to intercept and engage the infiltrators of the ring. This location, you say? This one? Where he is? Okay, wait. He has to lock down his helmet. The door leads to a zone under the Syndical or Ring's protection, doesn't it? That's probably a better idea to fight here then. Happy to work with someone as quick-witted as you. True. It wasn't long before the Thousand began rushing in through the open door. I didn't really want to summon them while they were relaxing, but can't be helped. They knew the drill by now. And I summoned the sinners once again. I mean, at this point, they could just be here permanently, right? They could just be here. We'd constantly need them anyways. They don't need to go away from us. Oh wait, different colors. Pretty sure they're the same though. Skills look very much the same. colors are still the same. And I don't see any sort of new passives either. Alright, well, in that case, I'll just feed them quickly. There we go! Not so bad! Not so bad! So do we have another aftercut scene? Is Alan going to complain about it? I hope we were able to distract them enough. It'd be kind of horrible if they accidentally break some of their stuff, eh? That would be kinda horrible. Mysteries? Oh. Hey there, Alan! How's it going? Alright then, and that's about wraps up the middle corridor. Thanks to you folks, we've managed to cut the door's cataloging workload by 80%. I really appreciate that. Everyone is going the extra mile to check each and every single door too. This made my life a whole lot easier, with basically 0 casualties, right? It is all thanks to the manager's excellent strategies. Thank you, Outis. Next up, the Thumbs corridor. But we actually found a lot of intel lying around there, so we just need to check some of the doors in the basement. Wait, intel? Where did you get intel? The manager expresses some interest in the aforementioned of the intel that you've mentioned. Oh, that. Well, in the Thumbs corridor, we came across a bundle of papers detailing the comings and going of the Thumbs members and the order that they were carrying. Whoever wrote the logs has been diligently keeping up to date. The last entry was written not so long ago. After all, they need to take proper care of all the members who are visiting, right? The ranks are really, really important. It was probably Lucio. Definitely Lucio. There's no way that the nurse father would have kept log. No way, she's always drunk. Well, while the content of the notes weren't all that interesting, they helped us get an idea of where each door in that corridor was leading. Well, I guess that is Melusina's shitty scrap papers. Wait a second, did she actually take notes? No way. She's been keeping up with that useless shit this whole time, huh? Okay, apparently it is that way. What do you mean with useless shit? Remnants of her desperate search for the threads to cling to. You found one of her backup tickets. The Hordes. I see. Well, I've marked any door that needs work with a drone. There should be about 3 or 4 of them in total. While you guys do that, I've got some leftover work to take care of over here. So, I've been noticing this throughout our interactions. But whenever anything is irrelevant to his work came up, Alan kinda seemed to have a way of unhearing and maneuvering past it, as though he didn't even register what we said. It's probably better this way. Who knows what he might have here? That could cause all sorts of trouble for him, right? It's definitely better this way. Well, recalling our conversation with Cesar back at P-Corp, that deeply encurling indifference might just be one of the essential personality traits to go on as a corporational employee in this city. Understood. We will explore the areas past the marked doors and return here. Thanks a ton. Well then, guys. Bye-bye, Alan! With Alan returning to where the other Wayfarer Company employees were huddling around, we have decided to follow the corridor to the left. So, this is the basement, huh? What is this? Why are there so many chains attached to this door? Is that blood? That looks like blood. Hey, there's someone in there, isn't there? You know, more of the rings. Maybe. Going by the silhouettes, they're unlikely to be members of the ring. I see. Come on, lady, get out of my way so that I can have a look. Oh, it is the detective. Some stubbly guy that I don't know about, and the annoyingly airy dudes. What? Oh, that sounds like Moses, Gregor, and Honglu, respectively. What are you guys doing here? Oh. The trio's conversation grew clearer the closer I approached them. Hmm? Oh, are you okay, fella? You bumped your head earlier. Fine as a fiddle. It is just a minor fall. This is the third time that it occurred, though. Something wrong, Honglu? We ought to discuss this issue with the manager once this constellation is over. I think I've seen a bump on the side of Honglu's head by now. What is wrong with you? Are you maybe a little bit tired? Anyways, you know what to do, right? If at any moment you see sign of... Oh, don't worry about that, Gregor. You made it through the explanation and the footage both. You're going to be fine again. I believe in you. Look at you now. We are right where it happened as well. But your arm is stable, right? See? There's nothing to worry about. If something happens, he's just going to pull you out of that cocoon. It's gonna be fine. Moses is here as well. Ironically, fear tends to grow more unimaginate when it is distant and unseen. I understand what you might be worried about, but I don't see even the earliest importance of it. What do you mean with that? Either way, don't hesitate to share the unfiltered thought that rises while you're in. Well, I know what I saw in the footage, and I'm still having a hard time believing all of it. Or, I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to avoid the truth when it's staring right in my face like that. My case is nothing like Dawn's, you see. She just needs to keep her shoes on. And that's all good and dandy for her, isn't it? I don't think things work out that way for me. Gregor, I don't want to discourage you, but even Dawn's shoes have a limit. That is why she needs supplies of blood occasionally, to keep the hidden hunger under control. It's not gone. The shoes are the full-purpose solution. The issue is still there. It's just hidden. Nobody can tell how bad it is because it's constantly under covers. On your side, though, we can see if the arm is acting up again, right? And the last time you transformed, you were having issues with your heart, right? You entered in a PTSD state. It's probably a lot easier for us to tell if something is up with you. Maybe we can even knock you out in the worst cases. You know, a forced shutdown. Huh. Well, whatever they are talking about sounds hella deep, guys. You're sure about eavesdropping on him like this, though? Yes, because sometimes people are shy. Jesus, always weirdly caged about himself, you see? Maybe now's our chance to learn more about him. True. He's sharing such an IS about himself for once, huh? Why just walk away from that? Don gives a nonsensical interpretation of Ryosho's acronyms as Kira rolls her eyes out of expiration. Between the bickering sinners and Kira, however, Outis stands in silence with an inscrutable look on her face. She's listening to the exchange between Moses and Gregor like a woman who's possessed. Alright, I guess we're just going to keep listening for now. Exactly. Outis was right. Damn, she was right all along. The war isn't over. It never was. And it can't ever be over as long as this fucking choke of a gift stays attached to my arm. Barbed words, I see. Now, let's revisit a question that you couldn't answer while the footage was playing. Hopefully, it's becoming easier to answer now. You've been using that arm to fight just fine so far. How? I don't really mind fighting hostiles or enemies. I'm not the kind of person who's worried about people who are actively trying to kill me. but killing my comrades, it just changes things, doesn't it? I can't even control it. There's nothing I can do to even brace for it either. It's unstoppable, like some kind of time bomb counting down to unleash a disease you've never known when its symptoms will set off. Even Heathcliff, who was always the first to step up when people began to spiral into self-hate, stood in conflicted silence, his lips drawn, a hard, straight line. Besides, Gregor wasn't wrong in that. At present, there wasn't any way to stop his transformation should it ever occur again. You've still got a good chunk of journey left as well, and eventually, you have to. No matter what lurks in the path of our sins, even if they have killed hundreds, thousands, no, tens of thousands of innocent people, you still embrace them. Is that something that you did, Outis? I know that the Outis, well, the one in control of the ship, did a couple of very selfish things that even Poseidon would be willing to single land his country just in order to get to him. Can't wait to see Outis' chapter. Oh, this is going to be so great! Now then, we'll eventually have to confront an even darker, bleaker truth of the war. Can I really trust Gregor not to crumble under the inevitable pressure? I see. So you're afraid that you will end up hurting us? Well, that's... At first, I thought I couldn't give a hoot whether or not I accidentally murder some of you guys. That's a bit more saddening to hear than that. But to be fair, at any given point of time, we could just revive ourselves. It wouldn't really cause that many problems if your arm went out of control. Maybe that gave him some sort of comfort, huh? You know how it is, Songlu. We, the bus team, didn't exactly get off to a rocky start either. But throughout our journey, I've begun to think of you all as my comrades. And I was okay with that because I had too much faith in my own weakness. When I realized that I'd grown so weak that I couldn't even take down some backstreet fuck with this arm, I was just relieved. Imagine that. The same arm, my arm, a weapon that stabs the heart of countless people during the smoke war. I'll be honest, when that Hohenheim fella said that I was an exception, the thought alone made me whole. Exception, huh? A potential to be harmless, weaker than even a non-combatant like you say. It made me hope for a life that didn't really sound so bad. We all know what we went through, don't we? Blew up in the worst possible way. After all that, I just couldn't bring myself to fight again, because I no longer knew when this fear would eat me up again, because I'm constantly afraid of this damn gift manifesting again. The same fear that you carried all of this time. How did you endure it before? Well, badly, barely, holding on to the idea that the living's gotta live on, nothing else. This really brings me back years. The memories are so clear that it's like they've all happened yesterday. Best just to kick me off the bus before push comes to. Hey! Don't even say that! That can't possibly be your answer, Gregor! You can always walk away, sure, but the danger of our journey won't just leave you like that. Dante and the rest of us will still be facing an endless repeat of peril. And it's not like leaving the bus will bring peace to your heart either, right? Yeah. Our debts can be reverted should an accident occur, even if it comes at the cost of Dante's suffering, which we've endured for years now, so it's fine. Dante's prepared for that. The same can't really be said for most people in the city. True. Now, that is something I've never expected to hear from you of all guys. True. I guess you're right. If we're seeing this through to any kind of end, this would be the place to do so. Not many places in the city have some warmth to them. This one does. Boy, this constellational thing is pretty embarrassing, huh? I mean, it's not like I was forced to go through something as traumatizing as yours. Ooh, not yet. Pretty sure you're going to get a second arc, Gregor. Just you wait, your trauma isn't done yet. But truth be told, not some special case at all. Everyone who participated in that war must have gone through more or less the same experience. Like Miss Moses, Outis, and even Valesina. That piece of work. We can attach a number to our misfortune, as if there's something to be measured. When I fled from my past, I tried my hardest to avert my eyes from it. But you, Gregor, you're not like me. Every few steps that distance you from the past, you would come to pause to spare a look towards the path that you fought. All those years I let slip by, all those that slipped you by a dot, with phantoms of suffering that are both inevitable and beyond measures. Different experience, I would say, and different pains. Still, if there's one thing common to everyone here, it is that trauma leaves after effects that linger for a very long time. What are you trying to say? I dislike loud noises and people who talk too much. They sound too much like a cacophony of the war, like screaming comrades who resented me even as they lay dying, and the wounds they've left in my heart bleed dry. See, but I thought you were fond of Miss Versa, weren't you, Miss Moses? I've talked too much. That aside, haven't you heard your fill? Might as well come out now at that corner that you're hiding. Ah, Moses spotted us. Oh man, they knew that we've been eavesdropping all this time, huh? Of course. Well, I was actually waiting for the right moment to come around, say a few words, but I just couldn't find the appropriate moment and, well, I should have shared this with Manager Bud and the rest of the fellas sooner or later. So, I guess I don't really mind. But what is she doing here? Right, you missed that whole part, didn't ya? TA. Ah, temporary ally. No, temporary accompaniment. Don't be an asshole now. I'm working my ass off to help you guys. For my own life, right? Ah, well, pleased to make your acquaintance. You're right on time. I've been working on the theory, but I don't have all the clues to be absolutely certain. A word from someone in the knows may immensely improve my confidence in that theory. Kira, do you know which door the thumb's nurse father was most attached to? Attached to? No. How should I know that? Duh. That's supposed to be obvious? I mean, it is. She belongs to the middle. Why the hell would you know what happens in the basement of the farm? Huh, Moses? Didn't you guys all see her? You think I just chat up a scary lady like that who literally beats up her own pup? No way! Dude, she was beating the ever-loving shit out of Lucio every time I saw them together. Oh yeah, he went down fighting you guys to the end, huh? Yes he did. Yeah, said stuff about her generosity and all that, and fought until the end. Damn, that's unexpected. Being real for a second here, I thought he was totally going to swap sides at the end. Really? That lad? And why is that? You know, it's just the vibes. You guys don't know because they haven't seen him long without the scary lady always looming around him. Oh, Lucio! Oh, what's up? Gonna stab right in the spine? Oh, you! Look, I think you might be training wrong, cause, like, you're not improving as much as you should from all that grind. Let me show you what I've learned about sword swinging from this comic book. This is not how my master has instructed me. The textbook cannot be permitted to have even a single deviation if it means to repay the debt that its owns her. Why are you so obsessed with all that crap anyways? You don't even look like that old lady! But you're not so different from me in that regard, aren't you? And you're also learning from your master. Bro, what are you talking about? I just love my papa! Seriously, I thought things were going to crash and burn before Yoshihide even came home, considering how strict she was. I suppose the textbook and I had that in common. If this one doesn't know, let me redirect that question towards you then, Ryoshi. Hopefully this touches upon one of your more intact memories. Do you know which of these doors the fam's nurse father shows particular attachment to? Or the door she uses most often? Why are you asking me that? Fine. Yes, I do remember that in fact. Don't even need the clock's help to piece it back together. It is that one. The one with the thousands of shades. The door with metal pieces dangling around. She's completely covered in blood. Holy shit! I almost died out there! Son of a bitch! A fucking fly! Where did those G-Cop guys fuck even drag those gross pest frogs? Mom? Are you alright? Do I look alright to you, Tickets? No, not really. Fine. I know that you won't break easy. You should have been there to see me tear the heads off that G-Cop! Vermin! Tickets! But Mom, your leg is bleeding a lot. Here comes another mission. Boy, they really can do this shit without me, huh? So much for a break. The fuck is this now? Bandages. For you. Is this kid serious right now? They've got truckloads of expensive treatments on the ready just to patch me up the moment I get back to the field. But fine, never mind that. Hey, this works. Mom? Sit tight and don't start any sort of trouble. I will teach you some sword techniques once I'm back. Oh, Yoshi tried to care about her, even though she saw it as pointless. I mean, at the end she still kept it on, but still. Must have been her years in the smoke war. Yeah, fighting in a war took a lot out of her and left her perpetually exhausted. But she marched to every battle with a smile. Stop drinking. Stop beating me too. Like a blissful idiot who has forgotten that you were still neck-deep in an inescapable pit called the House of Spiders. See. Well, the ironic piece didn't really last. Sometimes after the war ended, someone she calls the consigliere of the fam visited the House of Spider as a tutor. And that is when she went right back to drinking herself into a shit-faced stubber day after day. The beating returned, of course, and so did the edge in her profanities. It was pathetic. Hold on, why though? Sure, I was on the losing side, but wasn't Vasilina on the winning side? Wasn't she a war hero and all that? Ever heard of the regulation that prevents Smoke War participants from moving into I-Corp and K-Corp's nest? Ah, right. Roland has mentioned that. They wanted to keep the details hidden, so of course nobody involved in the war could ever upgrade themselves into the nest. That's why their child was always in danger. His wife. The common thread between these post-war rules is that they make the lives of veterans quite difficult. Dubious rules that don't discriminate between the winners and the losers. See, there must have been things going on behind the scene again. Right. But doesn't that mean that backdoors will just drop us into a trench that they've dug during the war? Yes, and Gregor will be the one to open it. Wait, what? Me? Yes, others can do it for you, but what would be the point? You sure this isn't going to give him even more of a nightmare? I don't really see how this helps him in any sort of way. Do not have any means to treat whatever it is that is currently slumbering within his arm. However, I would surmise that the underlying cause of the sun transformation wasn't the arm itself. Then what was it? It's trauma. His arm to control after his psyche was crushed by the wave of unspeakable memories coming back to haunt him. Maybe it was acting out as a way of survival in order to protect its host. It is not because the arm went berserk that he started reliving his painful past. It was the other way around. Isn't that so, Gregor? If you can come to understand that the war is really over, and what others says, no matter how closely they echo to the past, it is not necessarily aimed at you, then you may be able to loosen your grip on the fear and anxiety that your arms could metaphor at any given moment. While a suggestion may seem blunt, it is one of the most basic treatment principles of MCOP's Psychological Trauma Center. Fine. Then, guess I have to open it then. Gregor walked up to the door, grabbing its handle, and paused, taking a slow, deep breath. And with one arm, he gently opens the door. Why are you running? You should be taking the lead in the front line with our Geek Corp banner, held high, right, Gregor? I don't want to die. It's nice to have a place to go back to. All right. Happy 15th birthday. But you can't possibly have the cheeks to call me through, right? Your cheek are pissed. We're far more messed up than I ever was. Ripping people apart, cannibalizing them right in front of my eyes. You were nothing but a swarm of fucked up monsters. I thought I would wake up from the dream. But I was still... Your dream is still around, Gregor. The nightmares are following you. You're about to go through memory lane. Oh yeah. Memory lane. Okay, but first and foremost, you don't have a ring ID, do you? Of course not. That's a bit of a bummer. Rodion! I need you to be on rank 1160 again. Thank you very much. Definitely need that boost. Huh? Oh, I guess Gregor needs to be in the front lineup. Let's see. I need you. I need you. I need you. You're gonna join as well. And then something like this. Alrighty. We are ready to go. Wait. This is an office. I thought we were in the middle of a battlefield. Huh. This place. Huh? It's just a boring old office. I was kinda ready to be shocked, thinking that we were about to walk into a war zone or something like that. You recognize this place? Of course I do. My last job before Limbus company. And my desk was right over there. Here's a tip, fella. When you're working in an office like this, always get a corner desk facing the wall if you can help it. It lets you hide from the boss man at least. Out of sight, out of mind, you know? You can do whatever you want that way. Work, chill, or even freak out in terror at the slightest sound of metal clicking. Nobody will catch you. nobody will think you're a bother to other people either. Yeah. Gregor grins, a bitter, mocking smile, directly at herself. The only downside of the desk arrangement being is that, well, people are walking up behind me to get my attention. Higher-ups just had to holler, "Hey, that higher!" and I would scrub right up to them. But others can do that. So whenever people walk up to me from behind, I would get afraid that I might cause another accident. Vet hire, huh? Must be about the post-war veteran special deployment. Right. But I couldn't possibly complain. Wouldn't have gotten that job without it, you know? Not everyone was lucky enough to be considered for that. I was better off than most others. Oh, Gregor! Who are you? Oh, Head Manager Ted from TED Talk? Ooh! Gregor whips around. His hand instantly leaps to his other arm. There was an unfamiliar man in a clean suit standing behind us. It really is you, Gregor! You seems nice. Ah, and I see some new faces beside you. Oh wait, you guys must be the accounting that the guys on the other team asked us to leave a meeting room open for. Landing a new job already, huh? I see that you've got a new employee card right there as well. How have you been doing? Oh, me? Same old as always. Well enough. It's not like I've got anywhere else to go, right? This is awkward. I'm not surprised that you found new work so soon, though. You were always a dependable guy. Is the pay good? How's life, man? Oh yeah, you were going to sell that, commemorative coin? You know, the metal thing, right? I hope you got paid good money for that. About that. Look at me, asking how's life to a fellow citizen. Can't imagine anybody would have anything good to say to that, huh? Anyways, moving on. I hope that no one is haunting you with that vet hire shit over there. No, not at all. There's none of that over there. That's good to hear, man. Glad that you don't have to deal with the dang checkers of the executioner VP messing with you like he was a war veteran himself. You know how many years I had to hear that Cheeser bragging about how he profited from the war, pulling himself up by his bootstraps, about how in every peril is an opportunity waiting to be found. Blah blah blah, all of that stuff. I'm preaching to a core, aren't I? That guy, huh? Is he still taking his sauna breaks during work hours? What do you think? His seat missed his ass every day. True. Oh, and get this. Remember how I used to call you special employees fella Nipple Forces or something? A few days ago, his name showed up in the HR report. Guess what it says? Turns out he was lining his pockets with kickbacks when he were choosing the fixer office for a partnership project. There's about to be a vacancy in the office really, really soon. Really? But isn't he, an actual nipple? Thought he would be a president's family member or something like that. Yeah, man. It's that bad. It is what anyone ever talks about by the water coolers by now. If there's anything I've learned here, it is that people obsessed with back in my days are all kinda like him. They hate how their glorious days are behind them, kinda like a distraction from how pathetic they are now. I see. And hey, a backstreet kid like myself doesn't have a glorious day to look back to and yearn for, right? I look back and it's all doom and gloom. If you ever hit rock bottom like me, you also know the only way to go is back up. I said something like that before. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Guess it's my own brand of bullshit philosophies. Oh boy, look at me, running my mouth in front of all of our customers. I'm sorry about that, folks. Oh, don't worry about that. Please continue. That is a pretty unique perspective you got there. I didn't understand the words. No worries, but it seems that you were on your way to submit those proposals. Gee, golly, I'm late. Thank you for snapping me out of it. I'm gonna get one heck of a scolding. Anyways, Gregor, hit me up sometime, sir. Let's go out and catch up over a couple of drinks. Sure, if I get another chance. The man who seemed like Gregor's former co-worker hurried away, but he didn't forget to wave us a good-natured goodbye. I can see a little bit of him in the way that you talk, Gregor. Ah, come on now. I don't sound as old as he does. Why? Maybe. Moses, who had been quietly observing as Gregor and his former co-workers were chatting, exhaled a light stream of smoke and slowly began to speak. Many of us who returned from the war seem to suffer for a certain misconception. When we are told to remember, it does not mean we are bidden to live through the nightmares of the past, over and over again. We are not being cursed to relive the pain and suffering in it. Both Ayers and I, we are both still trying to be free of the misconception that we've inflicted on ourselves. It's not like I remember because I want to, it's all stuck in his head. Well, if you can't bring yourself to forget them, might as well include in your memories the fact that the war was indeed over. Fine. You're not wrong there. Gregor stared at his right arm for a while, quietly contemplating. Manager Butt? I can't really say I can give you a reassurance, but just going on with my life seemed to be the best answer for now. I want to ask if you're okay with that, though. I will try to manage, but it's you who's going to have to deal with the aftermath, just in case something goes wrong, right? Yeah. Gregor would always say the same to those suffering the cruelty inherited in the living. Still living on. Just live on. Yet even as his lips spoke those words, his eyes would take on a desperate and unfocused look, shaded beneath despair. Today, the gloomy grey seemed to have given way to just a hint of the blue sky beyond. This may be no more than a single ray of the sun peering through the dark clouds that have long suffocated the sky. It would probably take much more than this for the shadows to be finally lifted. But don't you worry, I'll definitely be fine. It is a big step forward for him to address even a little bit of the persistent anxiety from his past. When we emerged from the door, we saw Outis facing away from us, her weapon drawn. Is it the rings? Wait, I don't think she's even following us through the door either. Why? Wait. Were you here this entire time? Are you trying to avoid a possible battlefield? The war times? Outis, do you perhaps have PTSD as well? Yes, I was told by Alan that someone has to stay behind and watch the door during the operation. That is a lie! Alan never said that! I thought you never wanted to lie openly towards me! Either way, I stayed and... guess it was a good decision after all, but still... Oh man, it's those asshats again! Weird. The corridor's not a place for those newbies to roam around in. As you can see, a few uninvited guests have decided to visit us through a different door. I looked past Outis just in time to see more Fossum pouring into the corridor through a different back door. They must be trying to find a way to get to the ring's nurse father's corridor. Well, we can't just let them through then. Can we? Of course not. Kill them all! Righty! Don't you worry, Dante. We're going to take care of them right away. Is there any new opponent around here? They all look pretty much the same. I guess it just means I'm gonna speed this up again. Be right back, guys! Alright. And the last one. There we go! 7 turns! 7 turns! Not that bad. Not that bad indeed. But dear God, fighting sinking is a border. Quite the border. Oh my God. I just want to collect some SP. I just want to collect some SP. I'm not asking for too much, guys. Definitely not asking for too much. Ah. Alright. What else is in the basement? That doesn't really look like the basement anymore. At all. Once we have dealt with the forces who has invaded the farm's nurse father's destroyed corridors, we have left for the index. Alright. And ran into a few familiar faces, waiting for us at our destination. I see. Wait, but didn't you guys say that you wanted a day off or something? Why are you all here? Yeah, but I thought I might as well just come along. It's, you know, he just kept on summoning us when we were in the middle of something else. So we just decided it might actually be more convenient for us to just be here in person, you know, with all the constant interruptions. Oh, so clear. I'm kinda sorry about that. Your summoning occurred at the most unideal moment. I see. Now, I know you weren't really doing it on purpose, but all 3 times that you summoned me, I was literally leaning over Snack's top with a bunch of whipped cream. Today, I've learned that blacking out and waking up on a me-shaped indent in a cake that I was literally about to shoot down on doesn't really make for a more relaxing break, you see? I'm sorry about that, Rodion. Yeah. I should have probably checked in on you guys first, but, you know, I'm still getting used to this power, and most of the time I don't really have much time to do so. You know? Emergencies and such. Okay, now that you're being too sorry, there's no really hard feelings here, you know? I'm tagging along because I need some exercise, you see? That's all. Ah. Well, I appreciate the additional employees assigned. Now, if you could share any information that you know about yet another of these corridors. Well, I did hang out around here a lot, so I know this place well. It was this super clingy, annoying little... no wait. It wasn't really the masked dude. It was another one. Guess you don't remember her. She was one of the 2 children who were fighting against Ryoshu. They were cut into pieces. I would be surprised if you even have a shred of memory left. Wait, is there something that you don't remember? Yeah, about that. Kira probably doesn't really remember about Sora. Sora? Wait, I don't think that name rings any sort of bells to us. Is that someone who used to live here? Yes, Sinclair. Yes. Well, Sora was the Index apprentice, so she probably lived around here. Forsooth, the Index apprentice. Pray tell, wherefore is that the middle, the thumb, and the ring each have apprentice, yet the Index and the pinky select them? Now you realize that you're missing the pinky as well, huh? It would indeed be quite odd if a mere 3 of the 5 fingers kept an apprentice each. Retrace I might my recollection, yet I find it like following a trail of odorless air, invisible and unreal. No, there was definitely someone, but I just can't. The representative of the Pinky and the Index Apprentice are missing. No, to be more precise, a merciless blade has shredded and reduced them in an intangible formlessness. How refreshing to hear that same impression from someone else rather than myself for once. After all, she's the one who's usually forgetting everything, right? As it seems I was the only one who remembers the two apprentices, I retraced back to our first meeting and briefly shared what I knew about Zora. Oh, well, she doesn't really sound very forgettable as a character, that's for sure. Well, the Arayashiki has cut her into ribbons. That would explain why it feels as though I'm recalling a sequence of events, with a critical part missing right in between them. I can almost imagine her as well, giggling to herself like a creepy loner, and yet she probably wears glasses too, right? Like one of those gloomy introverts from animes. So you do remember her. Well, part of her. I see. So that is why it feels like I'm tearing through each strand of a weave. You're sure? Let's say the world is made of strings or threads, Clock. With every slash, this blade would be cutting through the flow of strands that twine to compose one existence. When an object is severed forever beyond repair, you would think neither traces nor shape would be left of it, right? Yes, but not her, right? But now that you've pieced some of it together, it is almost like... Instead of elaborating further, Ryosha felt silent again, save for the sound of the tip of her cigarette turning to ash, like she was recalling another, incomplete memory. I guess she's trying to avoid over-speculating on what she doesn't know for sure. But still, the fact that she's slowly piecing it together is definitely helpful. Damn! That totally breaks the matter for me. I had a vague idea of how it works, but this is the first time that I'm hearing the deeds. How I had to go through 4 ramp-up stages and remove seals to, even make full use of a sword, you see? Honestly, yours need a trade-off all on its own. Your sword totally is power creeping papas. T.O., huh? There's plenty already. Oh, yeah, that's true. Guess slicing your memories away is one hell of a trade-off. I'm sorry about that. Alright, so I'm guessing you don't really have anything to contribute for this corridor, so maybe I should just, Alan? I actually got one thing. I don't know where it leads, but the index guy used it all the time. Hopefully it doesn't drop us into the middle of an army of index guys. TPU, they rarely gather in a big room, right? She says that's very unlikely. Ow! What was that for, Ryoshu? Wait, did you just hit me with the sword's handle? Oh, she's enjoyed the fact that people couldn't tell what she was saying. So clear. Huh? Wait, I didn't do anything. Maybe Araya didn't like that. But I saw it. I saw Ryoshu's scarab, Araya suddenly jerking to the side, prodding Sinclair like it was annoyed by something. How dare you understand her better than her? That is her thing! I want STS. I silk until you can barely walk. I swear, this isn't a slander or whatever. Look, you poked me so hard it even left a mark on my hand. Here! Well, I don't really want to read too much into that, but the scarab was rattling like it was irritated by something. Stop interpreting for her! This is why she won't stop making these weird, nonsensical acronyms! I start to learn her language? Araya! I can help you out! He's making it just so much worse! I gotta stop him from translating for her. Somehow. Anyhow. Wait, Araya? That voice just now. It sounded a lot like... Dante. You saw that too, right? Yes. Yes, I did. But seriously, Ryosha didn't do anything like that. Wait, really? It wasn't her? Then it's the silence. To be fair to Sinclair, no one else but I saw in full detail how the scarab came to be. Which means that he couldn't imagine in his wildest of dreams that a scarab poking him of its own volition. It doesn't seem like any of the sinners heard that voice either. But that's alright. We can act as a translator now, right? Damn, you guys bully him a lot, huh? No, we've never! I mean, well, the lad has been long overdue for a little smack upside his snorting. We should be heading inside then. Let's not keep Alan waiting any longer, or else he is going to run off again. Kira directed us towards an almost undisturbed, normal wooden door, so featureless that I could have mistaken it for any of the dozens of doors we had walked past in the other nest. We were greeted by a whiff of stale, musty air the moment we walked through the door. What's this? Jaws? Prison cell? Wait, I think this is leading to another basement. Ah, okay, so that is where the basement comes into play. Ah, I was wondering about that, because they literally mentioned the basement, yet they left the farm's basement. Right? That was weird. Also, is that guy missing his feet? And all of these scars? Well, we've emerged on what appears to be a dungeon-like basement.